Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Madeline MacDonald and I'm here to talk to you about all topics to do with digital marketing. In this series we're talking about Facebook advertising, and in this video I wanted to give you 7 mistakes to avoid when setting up Facebook advertising for your business. The first mistake I often see is that companies will set up ads and write the copy and the headlines as if it's all about them. Here's an example of an ad that's all about the company itself. Hey, we are the #1 lawn care company in London. We offer weekly maintenance, planting, mulching, etc. A list of your other services. Now, this may be a useful description of the company for other purposes, but when it comes to Facebook ads, you're making it all about you. Whereas it's more effective if you make it about the consumer, the person that you're trying to reach. Why should they be interested in you? Why should they get in touch with you? Why should they engage with and click on the ad? Instead of just describing you, what you do and what your company provides, maybe think about how you actually serve your customers, what problems you solve for them, and how you help them. So for example, are you tired of mowing the lawn every other week? Are you tired of looking out at your messy garden? Are you tired of all your plants dying because you don't know how to look after them? Think about those problems that you're solving and try and gear the headlines and the copy, the text in the ad towards those problems. If you tell that story that includes the pain points of your customers and brings up some of the emotion associated with that, like being tired of something, not knowing how to do something, being frustrated with it, then you're making it about your customers, your potential customers, rather than just about you, and that makes for a much more compelling ad. Second mistake that I often see is related to this, and it's when you basically target your ads at a cold audience who's never heard of you before, but you don't really adequately explain or make it clear what you or your business does. There might be ways that you talk about yourselves that would make sense to someone who's already heard of you. There might be messages that would resonate with those people better. But when you're targeting people who've literally never heard of you, you just have to be super clear about what it is that you're offering in the ad. For example, I see a lot of ads for med spas or day spas that are offering a certain type of treatment that as a layperson I've never heard of. So rather than talking about the treatment and what it does, which is not going to make a huge amount of sense to me as someone who's never heard of it before and is not an expert in the field, instead talk about how it's going to benefit me as a consumer, which goes back to our #1 point. So number 2 mistake is don't assume that your cold audience, which means people that have never heard of you before, are going to immediately understand the exact nature of your services or products. Third mistake I see is simply not being compelling or interesting. You really have to capture people's attention. People are scrolling through Facebook, looking at pictures, looking at viral videos, and there's a lot going on there. And you really need to stand out in order to get people to click and stop scrolling and pay attention. Occasionally I see ads that are just very plainly written. There's not a huge amount of human touch. I would say as a business you don't always have to seek to be super kind of clean cut or professional. You can use humor, you can use a human touch, you can do things like write exclamation points and capitals. One way that I think you can definitely capture attention is by using emojis. Again, there might be a misconception that it's not professional, but it certainly captures the attention. If used judiciously, I think that this is a good way to make your ads more compelling, more interesting, and make people more likely to stop and click. So use emojis, be a human, write like a human, and people respond to that. Fourth common problem that I see with Facebook ads is not including a call to action. So not telling people exactly what they need to do in order to get in touch with you, or not even asking people to get in touch with you. Even if you're putting multiple ads out as part of a wider strategy, and you're not necessarily trying to get people to respond immediately, it's still worth putting in some kind of call to action on every ad. So those who might be in a position to purchase something now or be interested now have a way of engaging with you. So sometimes this goes hand in hand with the first point I made, making it all about you. The ad will say something like, here's who we are, this is what we do, these are the services we offer, end of. Or maybe they'll put something like a phone number inside the text of the ad. If people wanted to get in touch, what they would have to do is copy and paste that into their phone app. It's not the easiest way of doing it. When you're creating ads, there are buttons that people can click, so make sure that you have some kind of link on those buttons, whether it's for a call button, or whether it's to send you a message in Facebook Messenger, or whether it's to go to your website and submit an inquiry form, anything like that. But just make sure there's a call to action so that people know how to respond, rather than having to reverse engineer that process themselves and work out how to get in touch with you. It's all about making it easier for the consumer, so make sure that you have a call to action. Fifth problem is linking straight to your website homepage. Now, I'm going to put a caveat. If your website homepage is specifically optimized to drive people to get in touch with you, submit a form, ring you up, then that's obviously completely fine. But not all websites are set up that way. A lot of websites are kind of informative and they don't take you through a journey. And if yours is one of these, then driving people from your ads to your homepage, they're just going to get lost and they might not necessarily take the action that you want. Personally, I would say that if you're doing an ad which is for website traffic or conversions, you want to have a custom page set up for them to land on, a landing page straight after they click on the ad. And this would be a page that's specifically geared towards people that have clicked on this one ad, so it's geared towards using the same kind of wording as you used in the ad, and offering exactly what you've offered in the ad on this page and making it super easy for people to do that, whether it's downloading a PDF or watching a video or booking a consultation. Again, it's all about making it super easy for people to do what you want them to do. So put it on a specific page, make it really easy for them, rather than just putting it on your homepage where they might kind of get lost with other links and other things to do. That way you're not wasting money and you're not risking people who are interested getting lost and not being able to actually complete their interest and make an inquiry, etc. Sixth problem is to do with targeting. Facebook allows you to target very specific areas depending on where your target or your ideal customer comes from, and this is great if you're a small business that serves a specific area. I've seen a few ads for small local businesses who really want to be servicing one specific area, but their ads are targeted at the whole country, or they're targeted at regions that are further away than they would be willing to travel. So I really recommend just getting familiar with the location targeting part of Ads Manager and making sure that you know how to hone in on the areas that you want. Again, this avoids wasting money, as you'll be spending money on showing ads to people who are outside your area and therefore not going to become customers. Finally, the last common issue I see with Facebook ads is when you are offering an expensive service to a cold audience without trying to warm up that audience first. Your conversion rates to something that's kind of a bit out of pocket are going to be extremely low if you're targeting a cold audience straight to a high ticket offer. So if you are offering an expensive service, you need to make sure that you have a strategy in place that warms up the cold audience before you're asking them to purchase or before you're asking them to book a consultation. And this might mean running video ads to educate the audience, running a number of different ways that people can engage with you, whether it's downloading a PDF, filling out a survey, doing a fun quiz. These are all things that will warm up a cold audience to get them into a position where they might want to buy something high ticket. And at each stage of that process, you start excluding the cold audiences that aren't responding, and you start only showing ads to people that are responding well to your initial educational videos, etc. So make sure to avoid that mistake. Don't expect a very cold audience who's never heard of you to immediately purchase that off the bat. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos and more tips on how to run successful Facebook ads campaigns. If you're running ads and you're falling into any of these common mistakes, but you don't know how to put it right, or if you want to get started with Facebook advertising for your small business, then book a call with me. I'd love to see how I could help. The link will be in the description below, and I look forward to speaking with you. See you soon.